911. I'm in my house. They're shooting. They're shooting.
Who's shooting?
Oh,
How many times did you hear shooting?
10 times.
10 times. Do you know where it's coming from?
In the house.
In the house?
Yes. I need help.
Okay, the officer's on the way. Just stay where you're at, okay?
In the early hours of March 2, 2010, a quiet suburban street became the backdrop to a brutal massacre. At exactly 3:10 a.m., a 25-year-old woman named Angela Kramer, hiding in a closet, made a frantic call to the Darien Police Department. Her words were barely audible. She whispered that an intruder had entered her family home and opened fire. The terror in her voice was unmistakable, as she tried to stay as silent as possible, fearing the sound of her own breath would give away her hiding spot. The operator struggled to understand her, but managed to gather that there had been shots fired, and that Angela was in grave danger. As the 911 dispatcher attempted to keep her on the line, the sounds of muffled footsteps and distant shouting echoed through the phone, adding to the frantic urgency of the situation. Angela's voice grew faint, and then, just before the line went dead, she whispered one final word. "Please." The connection was lost. The police rushed to the Kramer house, arriving just moments after her desperate call. As they approached, they saw a young man climbing out of a basement window. It was Anthony, Angela's older brother. He was scared and confused, not knowing what had happened inside but desperate to escape the chaos. The officers quickly understood he wasn't the bad guy. He was another victim trying to survive. The Kramer family had been well known and loved in their small town. Jeffrey was a hardworking man who owned a towing business, while Lori, his wife, dedicated herself to teaching. Their 3 children, Anthony, Angela, and Michael, were bright and full of dreams. They had built a happy life together in their cozy home. But inside that home, tragedy struck. As the police entered, they discovered a scene that would haunt them forever. Jeffrey lay lifeless at the front door, Lori was found on the stairs, and Michael was near the garage. Each of them had been shot multiple times, their lives taken away without mercy. The officers felt a deep sadness as they realized that this family's world had been shattered in an instant. Meanwhile, Angela remained hidden in her closet. When officers finally found her, they gently led her outside with her eyes covered so she wouldn't see the horror inside her home. Anthony stood nearby, shaken by what he had witnessed as he escaped from the basement. As police secured the area, a young woman approached them with tears in her eyes. She was Michael's girlfriend and had spent the night at their house.
Tell me what happened.
I was asleep on the couch and I heard a crash coming from like the outside, like the street coming in, so like the window, and then I heard a shot. And he was like, "Oh my God," and then I think he got shot. Like I heard a shot, I got shot, and then I ran.
She described how she saw a man dressed in black break through the living room window and struggle with Michael before fleeing into the night. Her words painted a picture of fear and confusion. As Michael tried to escape, the sound of gunfire rang out, and the killer's bullets struck him down. Hearing the chaos, Jeffrey and Lori rushed downstairs, only to meet the same terrible fate as their son. The scene was horrifying, with spent shell casings from a .40 caliber gun scattered across the floor, footprints leading away into the snowy night, and nothing valuable taken from the house. It was clear that this was not a robbery but a targeted attack. Investigating officers questioned whether the family had any enemies. Anthony, still struggling to comprehend the tragedy, couldn't provide any leads. However, Angela mentioned her ex-boyfriend, Johnny Borzoff.
I just split up with the father of my son right after Christmas.
Good guy?
He has his issues.
What kind of issues?
Anger management.
Who had a history of anger issues and had recently broken up with her. Angela had met Johnny through her previous boyfriend, Steve, who tragically died in a motorcycle accident. After Steve's passing, Angela began dating Johnny, but his unemployment and dubious claims of working late nights collecting vending machine revenue raised suspicions that lingered like an ominous shadow. Angela and Johnny Borzoff had been in a 2-year relationship, but his possessiveness escalated after their child was born. The Kramer family, who valued close relationships, grew concerned as Johnny restricted Angela's interactions with them. Tensions mounted, culminating in violent incidents a year before the murders. Johnny pulled a switchblade on Jeffrey, threatening to kill him, and later got into a physical fight with Lori at a baby shower. On the night of the murders, Johnny had custody of their child, who thankfully was not at the crime scene. Before police could question him, Johnny contacted them.
811, what is your emergency? Johnny Borza. I just put on the news, and I think my girlfriend's house got shot up. Why are you concerned about it? Can I ask? Kind of home invasion or whatever. I don't know. You would like to see an officer? Yes.
Expressing concern for Angela's safety. During questioning, he provided a solid alibi supported by CCTV footage, placing him at a casino until 4 a.m., an hour after the 3 a.m. shooting. Despite his alibi, investigators scrutinized Johnny's phone records and found frequent calls from a burner phone. The caller identified himself as Jake and expressed paranoia about being followed. A subsequent tip led investigators to Jake Darcy, a roommate who allegedly made disturbing comments about the Kramer family murders. Jake Darcy's strange behavior set off alarm bells. His roommate described him as super weird and paranoid, raising eyebrows among those around him. Investigators discovered Jake had ties to Johnny Borzoff and Michael Kramer, two friends who had recently fallen out. This fallout was fueled by Jake's lies about his friendship with Johnny, whom Michael couldn't stand. Jake's dark past came to light. He battled depression since he was just 10 years old, a struggle rooted in his strict Jehovah's Witness upbringing. The harsh rules and punishments from his parents drove him towards substance abuse as a way to cope. His life took a nosedive. He lost two close friends recently and was once part of the same social circle as Michael until their explosive fallout. Jacob Darcy's fragile mental state worsened after catching his girlfriend with another friend. He had met Johnny Borzoff while buying drugs from him, and Johnny bragged about being part of a large drug-dealing gang, swearing Jacob to secrecy. However, Michael Kramer discovered their connection, leading to the fallout between Jacob and Michael. Investigations revealed that Jacob purchased a .40 caliber handgun days before the murders. His burner phone's location tracked south to Florida, where his parents lived. Police found Jacob sleeping in his car outside his parents' home and arrested him for questioning. "Did you do it?" investigators asked. Jacob's response was filled with fear. "I'm scared," he pleaded. "He'll go after my family. I opened my mouth. They'll hurt them." The interrogator reassured him, "Tell the truth, and we'll protect you and your family. We'll deal with everyone involved." Jacob's fear and possible guilt hung heavily in the air. "I'll tell the truth," Jacob pleaded. "My family will be safe, right?" Investigators reassured him, and Jacob revealed Johnny Borzoff's threats. "Kill the Kramers, or you and your family will be killed." Jacob feared Johnny's connections to a powerful drug gang. "However, Johnny warned me that if I ran, his gang would find me and hurt my family." Jacob felt trapped, believing Johnny's threats and fearing the gang's reach. Johnny had also mentioned the upcoming custody battle between Angela and himself, using Jacob's vulnerability against him. According to Jacob, Johnny Borzoff's motive was to silence Angela, who threatened to expose his alleged drug gang in their custody battle. Johnny manipulated Jacob into believing that Angela and her family had to be eliminated. He presented himself as a powerful figure, claiming a larger gang would carry out multiple murders to eliminate potential witnesses. Jacob thought this was like a scene from Breaking Bad. However, investigators found no evidence of other murders or unknown bodies. It became clear that Johnny Borzoff was a small-time drug dealer who exploited Jacob's vulnerabilities. Jacob struggled with mental health issues, substance abuse, and personal difficulties. Johnny took advantage of these weaknesses, using Jacob to target the Kramer family. "I was completely used," Jacob realized. "I thought I had no other options." Johnny's true nature was revealed. A small-time drug dealer who found a vulnerable accomplice to carry out his vendetta against the Kramer family. Johnny Borzoff and Jacob Nadersey were arrested and charged with multiple counts of murder.
I said, I can't believe there's no other way. I can't believe it's come down to this. And then I said, I guess I really don't have much of a choice. He said to put one bullet in each of their heads to make sure that they were dead. And he said to make the shooting look as if it was done by a gangbanger. The plan, according to Mr. Borisov, was that he would be under cameras, bar or casino.
And you had no idea where he was when you were in the Kramer's house killing people, did you?
I only knew what the plan was supposed to be.
Second, 2010, you broke into the Kramer house, and you did that to Michael Kramer, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Let me show you another photograph. People's Exhibit number 121 for identification. You shot Michael Kramer in the head after he crawled into the kitchen to try to get away from your first bullets, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
That's the gun you used to blow away the Kramer family, is it not?
Yes.
You made the decision to purchase the gun, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you made the decision when you broke a hole in the Kramer home to take that gun and go inside and fire it at least 11 times, didn't you?
Yes.
Johnny Borisov did not put this gun in your hand, did he?
No.
Johnny Borisov did not load the clip for you, did he?
It's becoming redundant, but no.
Are you bored, Jake?
No, I'm bored a lot in jail. This is kind of exciting for me.
The duo was held without bond, facing charges for the March 2nd slayings of Jeffrey, Lori, and Michael Kramer. DuPage County prosecutors stated Jacob Nadersey confessed to the murders, alleging Johnny Borisov masterminded the attack. The motive was revenge against Angela Kramer, Johnny's ex-partner, amid a bitter custody battle over their infant son. Angela, hiding in a closet, survived the attack and called 911. Prosecutors revealed that Borisov and Nadersey were intentionally placed in adjacent cells. Johnny Borisov boasted to Jacob Nadersey in jail, saying, "The drug gang will get me out, and you better watch what you say." Unbeknownst to Johnny, police monitored their conversations, confirming Jacob's testimony. In 2011, Jacob pleaded guilty to the triple murders and cooperated with the prosecution against Johnny, who pleaded not guilty. His trial began in 2013. Prosecutors revealed Johnny's specific instructions to Jacob: break in through a window, stay committed, and kill everyone, especially Angela. Johnny's defense targeted Jacob's mental health, trying to discredit him as a witness. However, Jacob testified that Johnny told him to shoot each victim once in the head, make it look like a gang-related shooting, and create an alibi by being seen at a casino. The prosecution emphasized the premeditated nature of the crimes. In 2010, Jacob Nadersey broke into the Kramer home and shot Michael Kramer in the head. Prosecutors presented evidence, including photograph 121, showing Jacob's actions. Jacob admitted to purchasing the gun, breaking into the Kramer home, and firing the gun at least 11 times. The jury found Johnny Borisov guilty on all 3 counts and sentenced him to life without parole. Jacob Nadersey received 75 years in prison. The Kramer family murders were a consequence of Johnny's twisted desire for revenge against the family, who held a strong dislike for him due to his behavior. Johnny's mother, Christine, insists on his innocence and supports his release through the Freedom Project, highlighting his severe health problems. As of August 2023, Johnny remains incarcerated, despite being reported to have only 90 days to live as of December 2021.